Hello everyone and welcome back to my Senate election prediction videos where I take a look at the Senate races going on across America this year in 2022 and give you my thoughts, predictions, and analysis on the race. Today we are looking at the state of Kentucky, a state currently held by the Republican Party and Senator Rand Paul. Senator Paul is in his second term. In 2016, Senator Paul's margin of victory was 14%. Donald Trump won the state of Kentucky in 2016 by a margin of 29% over Hillary Clinton. In 2020, Donald Trump's winning percentage was slightly down in Kentucky, winning with a margin of victory of 25% over Joe Biden, so a decrease of 3%. The two nominees are Charles Booker, a Democrat, and a former State House of Representatives member. In 2020, Booker sought the Democratic nomination for United States Senate and had a late surge in the polls and a late fundraising surge, but ultimately lost the nomination to Amy McGrath, and she would go on to lose that election by 20%. But Booker announced early in this cycle, back in, I believe, January of 2021, that he was going to be seeking this seat. And he faced a few primary opponents, but it was essentially a fait accompli from the beginning, and he easily won the Democratic nomination. The Republican nominee is obviously the incumbent, Senator Paul. Senator Paul did face some primary opponents, but he too easily won the nomination. There was no question that he would be the Republican nominee. Senator Paul is in his second term. He's a very hard-line, libertarian, conservative member. Rand Paul is probably the closest this country will ever get to having a true libertarian in the United States Senate. He is very stringent in his beliefs on physical policy and his belief in what limited government is. He has been very opposed to COVID measures and has had several high-profile encounters with Dr. Fauci during Senate committee hearings. So, Paul is very stringent in his beliefs, and they are certainly different. And he is not afraid to cast a vote that he's going to lose. I will say that is one thing about Paul. He is not afraid to be on the lopside of a losing end of a Senate vote. The ballots cast in the primary, and this is notable because Kentucky is home to a lot of ancestral Democrats. 56% of the ballots were cast for Republican candidates, and 43% were cast for Democratic candidates. My prediction on this race is, Kentucky is a red state. They have a Democratic governor, but that was exceptional circumstances in 2019. I know that all the time, every 6 years, you can set your clock to it. Some Democrats get this notion that they're going to flip the seat of Mitch McConnell, and they end up losing by double digits. This is going to be the same thing in this race. There is no scenario where Rand Paul does not win a third term in the United States Senate. Paul will win. It'll be by a significant margin, and it's a hold for the Republicans. So Senator Paul gets elected to a third term.